Hey, this is Elena with Black Sheep 303 Creative, and my project today is a framed panel mixed media project using a whole bunch of different Tim Holtz products along with a few other elements. So to start off with, I am going to be using gesso on the back panel of this is the Idea-ology framed panel. There, you see it there. And I'm going to use white gesso on the back of the the back of the project, and then on the frame I'm going to use black gesso. So gesso is like a toothy primer that allows other products and other paints to stick really well to whatever surface you're using them on. And I really liked the black gesso on this frame because the frame's kind of detailed, but I liked kind of toning it way down and making it more contemporary by turning it matte black. So that was kind of fun. And then here are the stamps that are the star of the show, which are the Stampers Anonymous Theories stamp set. This is new from Tim Holtz as well. And I'm going to stamp this guy on, I guess he's on a high wire. I'm stamping him on some Idea-ology plain tissue wraps. You're going to see him like kind of jumped up and got stuck on the mat there, but that's okay. And now I'm going to heat emboss him with Brutus Monroe black embossing powder. I think it's called Raven. And the cool thing about this embossing powder, which is why I wanted to try it, is that it dries completely smooth. So you don't get the orange peel texture that you normally get with embossing powder. That is just a super smooth surface, so kind of fun. And now I'm going to use some Art Alchemy Metallique paint. So this is Crocus Fields, which is a purple. And then I will be using Romance Pink here in a second. Over the purple in the middle and then along the bottom edge. And those are kind of like sheer, shiny metal paints. Metallique, if you will. Which added a lot of color. And then I'm going to take my finger and spread some sugar glitter paste from Bow Bunny all over the white section. So this is going to dry clear but very sparkly, and I just love using my finger to spread that because it's messy and fun. And now for some embellishments, I cut out the 3 rosettes from the new Sizzix Alterations rosettes die set, also from Tim Holtz. You can see I've made 2 of them already, and I'm going to make the 3rd one here just so you can see how it works. And there are like lines that have been, perforated lines that have been added in, and you just fold back and forth along those lines to get these sort of V folds all along. And then on one end, I'm adding 3mm Elizabeth Craft Designs double-sided adhesive tape. And you're just going to match that up with the end on the opposite side and press it down to seal it. And then you get kind of like a circle. And then to create the rosette shape, you're going to kind of push it all down in the middle and glue it together. So a really easy way to do this is to use a glue gun. But I couldn't find my glue gun, so I decided to use some Art Institute glitter glue, which is a white glue that dries clear. And it takes a little bit longer, but it does work. So you can see I got the glue along the edges, then I've pressed it down in the center, and I'm going to add a little more to the middle just to make sure it seals nicely. I'm just kind of pushing it in, and then I'm going to put an acrylic block on top of it and let it dry. And that actually works like a charm. So if you don't like a glue gun for any reason, you can use some white glue on these instead. And then these are little centers that you can die cut out, and I'm just adding that with the glitter glue as well. I won't actually use all 3. I'll wind up only using 2 of those. Now this is a quote from the Dina Wakley Collage Words Embellishment Pack, which is like on tissue paper, and I've ripped it in half and divided it. Now I'm going to rip off the edges of my guy on the high wire. And that white paper stamp on the lower left there, that's also from the Theory stamp set, but I will not wind up using that, so don't get too caught up in my layout right now. It is going to change quite a bit. And then this quote, I also stamped it and heat embossed on some white cardstock, also from the Theory stamp set. And this is a piece of the clear Deco Foil Designers toner sheets. These are brand new, and I will use a piece of that. I will do a separate tutorial on how that all works, but it is really cool. I gotta say, I'm super loving the clear toner sheets with foil, and I used rainbow foil on that. And so now I'm coloring up the back panel with distress crayons, one of my favorite things to use. So that was chipped sapphire, and then this is squeezed lemonade, and I'm just dipping my finger into like a little cup of water off to the side and then spreading the color with my wet finger around to kind of push it out and spread it. And then this is Twisted Citron, and you can see it's catching on the dried glitter paste. And so it creates kind of an interesting and fun, colorful texture in the background. I will also later add some spiced marmalade and festive berries to that as well. But you won't see me do it, but you'll see it in a little bit after I've done it. And now I've got these gears. Now I got these gears from Creative Embellishments. These are laser cut chipboard gears. So they're super, super detailed and super heavy duty and really fun. And I just coated those with tarnished brass distress paint. So that turns them metallic gold. And now I'm using my brushed pewter distress paint on the edges of the rosettes. And after my distress paint had dried on the gears, they were kind of too light to go with the whole composition, so I wanted to darken them down. So I am dry brushing some black craft paint onto these. I am not putting very much paint on that brush, and I'm just like going over the surface of it, but I'm not completely coating it. Like, they're not solid black. You can still see quite a bit of the gold around the darker edges, and you'll get a closer look at that later. But darkening them down really made a big difference. And now for many of the elements, I'm sealing these down with gel medium. So that frame is not stuck down. I've just got it in place so I can see placement. And I've stuck the gel medium on the back, like the back of this quote, and I'm using it to adhere it to the rosette. And I'm going to set a block on top of that. And then the tissue elements and the foil. So here's my piece of tonered foil clear sheets that I'm also adhering down with the gel medium. And then I'm coating the back of the tissue wrap with the gel medium, and then I'll stick that down, and then I will coat the top of it as well to seal it in. The only thing to know about gel medium is that it's usually got a very matte finish, so you don't want to go over anything that's shiny or glittery with it, because it will kill the shine and the glitter. So I did not coat much of that foiled sheet or the glitter paste areas, but I did seal in a lot of the distressed crayon that wasn't shiny with the gel medium as well. And now to kind of glitter up my gears, I'm adding some black glass glitter, so it's really chunky glitter, to the centers of my gears in kind of a random pattern. And I'm, again, not coating the entire thing. I'm trying to keep it sort of random and, I don't know, gritty. And then I'm using my tweezers to clear out any holes that got covered by the glitter. And there's a little more blue on the tissue above the guy on the high wire. And now I'm going to add a little more distress or glitter paste in there as well. And so to seal my frame onto the panel, I'm again using the Art Institute glitter glue, sealing that down to the edges. And then I've got some foam tape on the half of the quote that's coming off the rosette to give it support, and then I'll use the glue on the back of the rest of the rosette, and again add a block to that. And then I'll use that Art Institute glitter glue to glue down all the rest of the elements. And it dries clear, as I mentioned, and it holds really, really well. It's great for all kinds of paper projects, so I'm kind of loving it right now. And that rosette on the lower left, you can see it's got a purple center. That is some Elizabeth Craft Designs Diva glitter. I'm going to actually cover that whole piece with a different panel that's got the Diva glitter on it. And then you can see I'm cutting my chipboard gear in half with my heavy-duty scissors. And that worked really well. It was really easy to do, just chop it in half. I was a little worried because they're super, super thick, but the scissors did the trick, no problem. And so I could cut the two gears that I've got cut in half were really easy to chop apart and trim down. And so there's the new center for the rosette on the lower left. It's got the purple glitter on it, and now it's got a big glob of glue in the middle, sort of a circle of glue, and I'm covering that with bronze glass glitter to add another like shiny element. And there you can see it's been adhered down onto that rosette on the lower left. Now I added Mermaid Lagoon Distress Crayon over the tissue paper quote, and then I added a little more Chip Sapphire and a little more Squeeze Lemonade above the high wire there to just kind of finish off some color. And there you can sort of see the festive berries and a little bit of the spice marmalade that I also added around the quote too as well. You may have noticed that earlier. And now everything is adhered down, and it is, once it's dry, it'll be good to go. But you can see kind of the shine of the foil and the glitter, hopefully, as well as how like super colorful it is. I was really happy with how it came out. I love that it's really colorful, but I also love that it's kind of got some dark grittiness to it. That's my favorite quote there. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. That's the reason I bought that stamp set, because I love that quote. And there's, you can see some of the gold on the gears as well as the dark black glitter. And I just was really happy with how it came out. I love doing mixed media, especially when it's really, really colorful and fun and inspiring. So hopefully I've inspired you a little bit to combine a whole bunch of different Tim Holtz products as well as some other things to create a fun and colorful and inspiring mixed media panel. Thanks so much for watching. As always, supplies are linked in the video description and over on my blog. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment because I love to hear from you. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet. Here are 2 more mixed media projects I have done in the past, so check those out. Thanks so much. Have a great day.